Okay. Thank you.
Guys,
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Salaam alaikum. Good morning to you all and Eid Mubarak. We are going to be starting shortly. Welcome everybody on behalf of the volunteers of the Shaykh Fadhlalla Haeri Foundation. We hope that you will join us now for an Eid Khutbah from Shaykh Fadhlalla, and after which Imam Nusrah Cassiem will lead us through the Eid Salat. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Can we invite Shaykh Fadhlalla to please come? If you would like to receive notifications of all of our events, please do subscribe to the SFH Foundation website and also to the YouTube channel. We have been hosting many conversations recently between Shaykh Fadhlalla and others, exploring all the areas of living the faith in a meaningful way that is relevant to the context of of our current modern context. We're living in exceptional times with tremendous advantages and challenges. The COVID lockdown has really tested us all to reset our values and reassess what is important in our lives. And it has strengthened the bonds of sisterhood and brotherhood across the globe through the blessings and the benefits of internet connectivity and video calls and Zoom sessions such as this and YouTube. Alhamdulillah, shukrullah, for the ability for hearts to connect in difficult times. Of course, there are so many other challenges that humans have to face, not least of all Muslims, especially in the light of Black Lives Matter. And without wishing this to become a mini khutbah, I am just reminding us all that we have all come from Allah, we all return to Allah, and all we can place before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our deeds, our actions. And ultimately, our actions are according to our intentions. Alhamdulillah, shukrullah. Inshallah, we will have now the talk and the salat, but before that, let's just sit in silence for a few minutes and be in dhikr. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد
لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله. السلام عليكم. We human beings are driven towards a zone which we consider to be secure, safe, pleasant, so that we experience a high quality of life. All of us, as the children of Adam, we want goodness, we want joy, we want good expectations, We want reliability. We want to celebrate. We love to celebrate. We love to have a party. But look where we are now. After 200 to 300 years of being completely oriented towards acquisition, conquest, take, and in the name of something or another, what we have done to the world, and the world is us. What have we done to ourselves? Now you can see all over the world the measures, the crude measures of survival are higher and higher. But there is greater misery, even amongst the wealthiest. There is a lot of sadness, a lot of suffering. It's joyless. And the ultimate punishment for any human being was to be incarcerated, to be cut off from the rest of people, which now we call social isolation, and we smile at it. Where have we ended? Celebration in Islam. First, to watch the nafs, reflect upon yourself, realize the extent of your hypocrisy or your lie, or what you are hoping and wishing for that is also illicit. It's not allowed. It will hurt others. It is out of line. It afflicts other people, other communities, other human beings, or other animals, or other creatures, or other plants. So the first celebration of awakening to this important practice is that of Ramadan. And the secret of it is to stop your mouth. Sawm is to close down. Sawm. So as you're aware, a bit more aware of what your intentions are, what you have declared, what you don't declare, and limitations. Why are you eating more? Why aren't you breaking your fast? It's time now. Care for your body. You are a custodian here. The whole story begins with Adam. That amazing thing in Quran says, and Allah created this amazing being and declared to the infinite forces and existences like the angels. He says, I am going to bring about someone who is going to be my steward on earth. Somebody who is going to be like my shadow on earth or my representative on earth. So that he has the godly side in him, in her. He knows all the great attributes of Allah, that Allah is ever living, Allah is ever able, Allah is ever efficient, Allah is hearing it all, Allah knows it all, Allah sees it all, and on and on and on. So that amazing event, when it happened 100 to 100,000 years ago, that awareness of awareness of awareness. So who are you lying to? Quran challenges, don't you see, don't you know that Allah sees all, Allah knows all? Where is the hiding? Where do you run to? So the Sawm is a fundamental issue to reforming the ego. So as you get with it, you like something, all right, enjoy it, take it, but make sure you know the boundaries, you know when to stop. The best of foods can be also very, in every way, an affliction. You just add on more weight, more this, more that, and you become incapacitated. So goodness goes all the way up to a point and reverse to be its own enemy, like what we have done as human beings the last few hundred years. Keep things nice, keep things clean, fine, improve, learn a bit of science, know how to preserve things. But what we have done now, we have mountains and mountains. Nearly a third of the world has so much acquisition that you will fill 5 times the Earth size of space, and you won't be enough. So first, you have to watch yourself. As you grow with maturity, by the time you are in your 30s, 40s, if you are not fully aware as to what you're doing, why are you doing it? Are you accountable? Are you willing to actually express it and be honest about it? If not, then your inner state is in a mess. You are so confused that at best you can tend to be very angry, like everyone else is now. Everyone is now angry because they feel they have been led up to a situation which is barren. Save, make money, own the house, make more clothes, more shoes, more. For who? Where are you going to wear it? And who are you going to impress? It's desperation. The anger now is so rampant. The entire system of the Western governance now is at the edge of collapse. Everybody is angry. We have not been told this. We've not been told that suddenly everything has to stop. And the holidays I was dreaming of, and the money I saved, and the down payment, and not possible. My investment were in this and that, they're useless now. So anger. This is because we did not do our fasting properly. We did not have Sawm. Why are you taking more? Why are you lying to impress so that you, because you will end up in a situation with the new CV that you concocted that you can't cope with. So you create a lot of havoc in the company or in the place or in the work because you pretended to be able to do things that you cannot. That is what this is. The whole foundation of human quality life is based on being totally honest, totally loyal, totally accountable, and serve, and also perform your duties. Duties to what? Duty towards every cell in you. Your head, your mind, your memory, your duty towards your cleanliness. Your body is your country with the trillions of cells in it. We have no idea what is going on, and yet we pretend I am this and I am that, and they didn't really respect me, and I am bored, and I am unhappy, because you're not in the map where it takes you from arrival to the ultimate destiny, the absolute truth, Allah. We are not on that map. So we have not fasted, we have not abstained, we have not questioned ourselves, why less, why more? Then it comes to the other most important aspect of life, and that is to declare you have nothing, you own nothing. You sacrifice that which is the most valuable to you. How many people have you found in your life that they are really willing to give that which they love to keep? The Quran simply tells you you're not even considered sincere unless you give that which you love to keep. So for a few hundred years, the best of 200-300 years, we have deviated slowly into, if you put a frog in a pan and heat it slowly, the frog just dies. But if you drop a frog into hot water, it jumps out. Because in the first instant, it got used to incremental heating. We got used to incremental wastage. Personal lives, family lives, political lives, economical lives, every lie you can imagine. Why? Because we did not put ourselves in the other person's position. So 500 years ago, the exploration began, and looting of the whole world began, and take everything back to home, whatever. People were invested in it. On and on and on. And then we fell into the desperation for ease and convenience. It's easier now. We need to have light. We need to have that. Then we started abusing every creature. The main industrial thing of collectiveness also has several bouts of its growing up, like the event in Boston to get the oil from Wales so that we have lamps. That is the early stages of industry and how people could share, investors, and so on. On and on and on and on and on. We have just become materialistic, clever, manipulators. Now, many people, the most sensitive of them, for the last 20, 30 years have been saying that we are on the sixth extinction. And this may be the end of this bout of the human experiment and the way we consider it to be quality life. So here it is. The whole world has to cease, stop, all of a sudden, within few days. Through what? Through an invisible, tiny little, bacteria or a virus. That's where life began. But even now we say, war on this, war on that, but we don't coexist anymore. We don't truly respect anything that's alive. Life is the ultimate mystery. We don't know how it came. We don't know what it's doing. So we say, Allah has brought it all. Yes, but Allah is the source of all. But what is life? That's aware of itself, This is the ultimate mystery and the ultimate magic of it all. It is a miracle. We have to respect it. Not just all the time, conquest, higher up. This is crude, but we are still in that age. We are like children with weapons that are able to devastate and completely destroy the world. Out of balance. We are out of balance. Our inner and outer are not in balance. We're not content. We're not in harmony. We're not alive. We're not joyful. Eid implies a return to having combined the visible and the invisible, abstention and acceptance of the day, restriction and expansion, inner and outer, seen and unseen, celestial and terrestrial, the infinite world to which we return also without identity after death, and the finite world, which is our practice, which is this world. So it is a celebratory thing. But if you are not living it, then it becomes a lie upon lie upon lie. It is the ultimate hypocrisy. So we just dress up, we pretend, and yet we are seething with anger, disappointment, and confusion and darkness. This is how I read our global situation now. Do you consider it bleak? No, I consider it disastrous, not just bleak. It is because, as I said, like the before, this is what we did. I can see this. This is now fashionable. It wasn't 10 years ago. All right. Go to the so-called middle-class people, maybe well over 1 billion of them in the world, and look at the covers and see what the clothes they are. Shame upon shame upon shame. And the rest of it is all appearance. It looks nice. Is it really nice? Is it sustainable? Is it durable? Is it justified? No, I have no time to think of that. So on and on and on. So although in the outer we are restricted now, quite rightly, from celebrating. Hajj used to be 2.5 million people. This year, today, they estimate there were under 10,000. That is less than just about a third of a 1%. Quite rightly. It became a ceremony without really meaning. Hundreds of thousands of gallons of antiseptics are being poured daily in order to keep the place antiseptic. But there are no people. On and on and on. Look at all that. Tons, something like 35 million tons of marbles have been poured in that place. And there's nobody there. And look at the other mosques, the so-called Muslim countries, so-called 57 or whatever number of them. They all vied with each other as to who has the biggest mosque. It's all appearances. Huge mosques with nobody in. And we quarrel upon a piece of land here and there, or that because it's sacred. We kill the human being who contains a sacred light in them for nothing. We allow them to perish. out of what we consider they are savages, they are not, or they are on and on and on. Where is the justice? The qualities that we love are based on reliability, based on duty, responsibility, goodness, generosity. Justice is based on the truth that you and I own nothing. So that's what happened with Nabi Allah Ibrahim. The only thing that he really loved and adored in a very old age was his son. So there the voice came from his heart. If you are honest, sacrifice that which you want. And it came to him in such power that he had to declare it to his son. He says, "Oh son, I have this feeling coming to me that I have to sacrifice you." Bear in mind, those days, the issue of letting blood was very common throughout humankind, because that's all they had, a bit of cattle, a bit of sheep. This was the most valuable thing they had. So the willingness was to sacrifice that which was the most valuable. And more than that, also in this case, is the son. So them, which is in Aramaic, in Hebrew, and Arabic, is blood. Life flows in blood. And where them also produces the other word, which is perpetual, constant, daim, forever. We are forever caught between the light of the divine in us and the evolution of millions and billions of years of the animal that came from one cell to this Homo sapien over maybe 50, 100,000 years ago. But we should behave as stewards on earth. We should behave as guardians of goodness. And goodness begins at home. Are you exercising goodness in its fullness? If not, then we blame and claim, and we end up having it's their fault and this fault, and we end up disintegrating as we are at every level. Family, disintegration. Community, country, people, economically. So every level there is disintegration. And the whole thing is about integration. Integration is the path to realize that amazing miracle of oneness. There's only one. The entire Quran is based on us rising in intelligence to see the one behind the two, behind the many, behind the multitude. It's only one. All began in one. Even science nowadays tells us everything was in that most intense singularity. One. And that truth is ever there. That's why we want to know its origin. We want to know the cause and effect. All of it emanating from the one, sustained by the one along a short journey within space and time, returning to the one that is absolute, beyond space and time and within space and time. If we have read it, then we are ready to surrender that which is not ours, which is your body, which is your mind. You will be liberated in being the ruh, who you are. But we are scared because we have assumed I am something else. I'm this person. I'm an identity. I have a CV, and I've been concocting it all the time so as that it suits the occasion, so as I make more money, so as I spend more, so that I get more worried. What if it stops coming to me? That's why worry, anxiety, concern, fear is immense. And the indicators of it are in the dozens. Any indicator you take, it tells you that we have not been living as fit for an entity that carries the light of God, the infinite, the absolute in their heart, and they have a mind that is to do with the world outside and reason and connection, cause and effect, and all of the others. It is the most magnificent potential and possibility. If we don't use it, we will then destroy ourselves, as we are doing super job in there at every level. So in the outer, we can truly commiserate with each other. But on the inner, if you have seen it, if you are reading it, if you are keeping up with it, then good luck, because you have seen it, and that's enough. Your inner universe is in the best of state, but your outer situation is afflicted, connected with the other world. You can't stop it. Poison will come to you. Quran reminds us that be wary of plots and mischief that is somewhere far that you think is not going to come to you. There is a unitive factor in everything. So we are responsible for life. We're responsible for the life in me. So I have to keep my body clean, healthy as well as I can. Not over, not under. This is the intricate balance. So when Ibrahim alayhi salam gets this constant reminder that no, you're not truly loyal to the one unless you are willing to sacrifice your son. And as I said, human sacrifice was very common and very much the norm. And people who have had their children and others sacrifice, they were proud of it. Like nowadays, superficially, families who have a son who can just do a bit of a recitation of Quran, they are proud of that. So the same thing with sacrifice. So the son says, "Oh Father, follow what comes to you from the higher, from the real. And I hope you find me patient." Isn't that amazing? So they were living according to inspirations coming from beyond the beyond. Not all the time, evidence, evidence, evidence. What did Google say or the internet? What? No, they were connected with the cosmic unitive force, with Allah. So this is the Eid, to truly understand that we are cosmic beings undertaking a short journey on earth. Obviously, it's going to be bumpy because in cosmos, everything flows in its perfect ways. But once it begins to manifest, then there are all kinds of events as it took place immediately after the beginning of creation. And then enormous changes and matter and energy, mineral and furnaces creating all the elements that we know, and on and on and on. So the human being is the ultimate miracle. We have to treasure it. We have to respect it. We have to honor it. Because within it lies the light of the most sublime, Allah. Otherwise, we'll have more and more nightmares as we are having. Most of people nowadays are like miserable sleepwalkers who have emerged from the worst shocking nightmares. This is again Allah's rahmah on us, to showing us how collectively where we are. Now we have imposed lockdown upon the whole world. So it used to be a punishment for those who have misbehaved, lock them up. But look, we have done it to ourselves. Look at Allah's rahmah at every level. That is worth celebrating. And we have to weep upon our own also miserable lack of presence and lack of taking truly responsibility for the moment, because the moment is infinite. And that's what we need to remind each other. If your inner is clear and clean and connected, good luck. You deserve the best. And you'll be horrified at seeing how most people are convinced themselves that the outer is fine, the political scene is all the lies and the cross-daggery and all about money, all about imposition, all about injustices. So we have to admit where we are, and hopefully we'll find more and more friends, more and more people whom you can look in their eyes and see also the same reflection. And I have a deep, deep, deep feeling that after 10, 20 years of this lockdown, I think we may have escaped the early sixth extinction. If not, it doesn't matter. The ruh continues. Life continues forever. It's not my life. Life is forever. And my life is not separate from life. Therefore, I celebrate. Thank you.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Inshallah, we will perform the Eid-ul-Adha Salah. We will have the Takbir 7 times at the first rak'ah, and before we go into the ruku at the end of the second rak'ah, we will read Takbir 5 times, inshallah. Allahumma salli ala. Allahu Akbar. 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 Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. آمين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر سمع الله لمن حمده الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله السلام عليكم ورحمة الله الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر 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 ما اشتاق قلب لحج بيت الله الحرام الله أكبر ما لبى محرم على عرفات فانحطت عنه الخطايا والآثام الله أكبر ما لج داع إلى الله بالدعاء في الظلام الله أكبر ما تقرب المسلمون في سبيحة هذه الأيام بضحاياهم الله أكبر ما أحسن الأغنياء إلى الفقراء بعطاياهم الله أكبر ما غفر الله للتائبين خطاياهم سبحان مالك الممالك سبحان من ليس له في ملكه مشارق سبحان الله الملك المعبود سبحان رب العزة والعظمة والكرم والجود أما بعد فقد أصبحنا في عيد النحر المبارك الذي هو من معالم الدين قال تعالى في كتابه بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحج أشهر معلومات فمن فرض فيهن الحج فلا رفث ولا فسوق ولا جدال في الحج وما تفعلوا من خير يعلمه الله وتزودوا فإن خير الزاد التقوى واتقون يا أولي الألباب ليس عليكم جناح أن تبتغوا فضلا من ربكم فإذا قضيتم من عرفات فاذكروا الله عند المشعر الحرام واذكروه كما هداكم وإن كنتم من قبل لمن الضالين وقال تعالى وإذا قضيتم مناسككم فاذكروا الله كذكركم آباؤكم أو أشد ذكرا وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم مثل المؤمنين في توادهم وتراحمهم وتعاطفهم مثل الجسد إذا اشتكى منه عضو تداعى له سائر الجسد بالسحر والحمى وفيه تلك الذكر العظيمة في التي ينفعل لها كل قلب فيه مثقال ذرة من الإيمان ذكر كمال الدين وإتمامه في يوم جمعة في وقفة عرفات ونزول في قول الله تعالى اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت لكم عليكم نعمتي اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي اليوم أكملت لكم دينكم وأتممت عليكم نعمتي ورضيت لكم الإسلام دينا الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على محمد الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر الله أكبر ولله الحمد الله أكبر كبيرا والحمد لله كثيرا وسبحان الله بكرة وأصيلا لا إله إلا الله وحده صدق وعده ونصر عبده وعز جنده وهزم الأحزاب وحده لا إله إلا الله ولا نعبد إلا إياه مخلصين له الدين ولو كره المشركون اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وعلى أصحاب سيدنا محمد وعلى أنصار سيدنا محمد وعلى أزواج سيدنا محمد وعلى مهاجرون سيدنا محمد وعلى ذرية سيدنا محمد وسلم تسليما كثيرا الحمد لله الذي تقدست أسماؤه ومجدته رسله وأنبياؤه نحمده تعالى على نعمة الإيمان ونشكره على ما تفضل من الإحسان وما أولانا من الامتنان ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله الواحد بلا عدد الدائم بلا أمد شهادة إيمانا وإيقانا وقبول وأذعان ونشهد أن سيدنا محمدا عبده ورسوله سيد ولد عدنان أما بعد فإن الله اختار لكم الدين فلا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون وبين لكم معالمه وحدد لكم حدوده فاتقوا الله واعبدوه واتكلوا عليه وأطيعوه والله يجزي المحسنين واعلموا أن المولى الكريم خص نبيه بالصلاة وتسليم فقال ولم يزل قائلا عليما وأميرا إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد
وعلى آل سيدنا محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم صلاة دائمة كاملة إلى يوم الدين وعلى آله الطاهرين. اللهم أنت السلام ومنك السلام وإليك يعود السلام، فحينا ربنا بالسلام وأدخلنا الجنة برحمتك دار السلام. تباركت ربنا وتعاليت يا ذا الجلال والإكرام. سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. الحمد لله وشكر الله وشكر الله. الحمد لله الحمد لله وشكر الله وشكر الله. الحمد لله الحمد لله وشكر الله وشكر الله. الحمد لله. شكر يا ربي، شكر يا الله، شكر. الحمد لله. توبة يا ربي، توبة يا الله، توبة نستغفر الله. اللهم اغفر لهم وارحمهم وساكنهم في الجنة. اللهم اغفر لهم ورزق لهم شفاعة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في يوم القيامة. اللهم إن كان حياته محسنا فزد لهم إحسانا، وإن كان حياته مسيئا فتجاوز عن سيئاتهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم اجعل قبورهم روضة من رياض الجنة، ولا تجعل قبورهم حفرة من اللهم اجعل قبورهم روضة من رياض الجنة، ولا تجعل قبورهم حفرة من حفرة النيران. اللهم افتح لنا بالخير واختم لنا بالخير، واجعله أواقب أمورنا بالخير، بيدك الخير إنك على كل شيء قدير. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. عباد الله، إن الله يأمركم بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. الله أكبر، الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر. الله أكبر ولله الحمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Eid Mubarak, all home and away.